So okay, before we go to the next part on the cost-based optimization as well as cost estimations, so we need to introduce some background knowledge actually as well as background information for the Oracle RBO as well as the Oracle CBO. The format CBO denotes a cost-based optimizer and RBO denotes a rule-based optimizer. So there are two different methods or different approach for optimizing the database queries. These two optimizers are proposed by Oracle, right? I think you know Oracle is a very big company. They are working on the database systems. So not so database system used by the government organizations, the compliance, enterprise, as well as some institute. They are all organized by the Oracles. So Oracle they are expert on design or implementing database systems. And they have different versions of Oracle database system as well. Now we have Oracle 7, Oracle 7 to 10, and we also have Oracle 10G. 10G, G denotes grid. It denotes a database system designed for the enterprise grid specifically. For different versions of the Oracle database system, they will use different versions or different algorithms for optimizing the queries. They can be either using the CBO or the RBO. So from the CBO used in Oracle 7, they have become more valuable and relevant to with new release of the Oracle database system. As to rule-based optimizer, the RBO has become increasingly less so. So initially, people tend to use the rule-based optimizer for the early versions, and gradually people will change to the cost-based optimizers instead for optimization of the queries. So for Oracle 7, they use the RBO, and gradually between the Oracle 7 to Oracle 10, they use the combination of both RBO as well as CBO at the same time. And for new versions of Oracle 10G as well as following versions, they will all rely on the CBO instead. So since the Oracle 10G, so the RBO is becoming approximated as well, and the CBO has becoming more important, used in improving the query optimizations actually. And compared with RBO and CBO, they have different advantages as well as disadvantages. So rule-based optimization algorithm and methods sometimes can provide better performance than the early versions of Oracle CBO, right, for specific situations. The RBO has several weaknesses, including offering only a simple set of rules, and Oracle rule-based optimizer has about 20 rules and assign a weight of each one for them. And in a complex database system, a query can be easily involve several tables, each with several index and complex selection conditions and ordering. This complexity means there are a lot of options, and a simple set of rules used by the RBO might not differentiable the choice well enough to make the better choice. So because of these kind of cases and for these complex situations, the RBO cannot be used anymore. Therefore, people will turn to the CBO instead. And besides, another weakness of the RBO is the resolution of optimization choices made in the relevant of the type of score. And so because of these problems, people will turn to CBO instead. And we will provide you with more information about what is the CBO and how the CBO will be work and how it can be used for addressing optimization of the queries instead. So this is the background knowledge, and we can move to the CBO in the following pages of the slides and the lectures.